He's been a student of metaphysics since 1970, and he's been working for over 45 years. He continues to teach and believe in the laws of healing and prosperity, that natural law that is based on cause and effect, and that we are all here to live happiness, health, and wealth. His teachings ignite the information within each of us so that we may go beyond in our own lives. David is a metaphysician, a spiritualist, a pastor, a psychic, a teacher, a spiritual counselor, a medium, and a spiritual healer. He teaches classes which include universal metaphysics, metaphysical principles, which is a course that he certifies you with, self-development, prosperity, healing, and mediumship. So if you're interested in doing any of those things with David, he has left his cards out there, and he does things telephonically as well. And we're working on getting some Zooms out of United Fellowship Chapel in Tucson, Arizona. If you're interested in more, you can see their website, Google them online. And without further ado, Reverend David Miller. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't think I need to say anything more after this introduction. But the principles of this world, are very important in healing, And one of the things I start talking about in healing is that disease is mentally caused. And then people come up and say, well, what do you mean I'm making it up in my head? I said, no, is that what you did yesterday is now in the mental realm. And there's an experience in you that is connected to the disease that you are experiencing. And going into the silence is a way to get in touch with that. And as Reverend Tanya said, that cause and effect is a major principle in this world. And disease is an effect. And the cause, where is the cause? Well, if you want to know where the cause is, go to the first mirror and look at it. Because you are the cause of what's going on in your life. And the intelligence that you have within you will let you know that. And when you understand the cause, then you can start creating another effect with a different cause. And if you don't know what the difference is, there's an all-knowing that's within you. And you ignite that all-knowing and to give you some ideas on what is the opposite of what you just experienced. I learned a long time ago that doing things upside down and backwards was a way that helped me tremendously. And then I found out that I was born that way. And so by being born that way, I implemented that in my life. I noticed that when I started sort of studying my own self, that I would do things upside down and backwards, and it would work out real good. And so and then when I started studying religion, I started using my upside down and backwards with that too. And there's some things in religion that is a little disturbing. But what isn't disturbing? I am disturbing. Because there's things in my life that I have made mistakes in, and when I understand those mistakes, I can do the opposite of that. So we have cause and effect in our life. And there's a healing presence within you that will heal anything that you have. How do we ignite that? How do we ignite that? Any ideas? One thing is being silent. That's a good way to ignite that. But we have three things in our world. We have thoughts, words, and actions in our life. And those are the causes in our life too, the thoughts, words, and actions. And so we can start with words. When I have an effect that's unpleasant with me, If someone hurt me or something like this, you know, I figure somewhere along the line, I hurt somebody else in the same way. So instead of forgiving that person who hurt me, I start saying, I fully freely forgive myself and I loose myself to my good. I know you all have heard that message before. And so when I do that, then I get ideas on what I can start thinking and talking about and acting. And so there's people, places, and things in our lives. And I was watching the NFL Hall of Fame entries this year, and there was two men that got in the Hall of Fame, and they both said, if you want to know who you are, take a look at the people who you associate with and where you are. And what a lesson. I figured he must have taken some metaphysics lesson somewhere, because that's basically how you get to know yourself, is the people that you associate with. And if you find yourself in a place that is not pleasant, how many times do we have the courage to get up and say, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to find another place that has happiness, health, and wealth in my life. And what is happiness, health, and wealth? You know, there are many people in this world that have not ever experienced happiness, or they have not experienced a constructive, positive love in our life. How are they going to know that? When I went to the United Fellowship Chapel in 1970, I couldn't understand why they were so happy, because they were the most boring people I ever met. And then I found out that I was the boringest people I ever met. And so I started developing and started understanding who I am and everything. And to heal, you know, is to heal yourself. And when you find out that you can heal yourself, then you can ignite healing in others with you. You're not going to go and heal other people. What you're going to do is you're going to ignite the presence of healing in that person, and they can heal themselves. Which is a very powerful presence to know that, because that's a heck of a responsibility to try to change somebody and try to heal someone when you really don't. You have the power to heal yourself, but you also have the power to ignite healing within that person so that they can go and start healing themselves too. And being happy, you know, is an ingredient of health. And that's one of the greatest blessings that we have, is health. And that's the exercise of vitality. Not the freedom of pain and discomfort, but the exercise of vitality. And you know, when I started becoming a minister and everything like this, you know, is that I found that there was something. I could not be a minister 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And so I found something that was very beneficial. I became a soccer coach. And that got me away from the chapel, and it got me to have a little more balance in my life and everything. And I was able to touch youth. I didn't teach them metaphysics or anything like this, but I taught them the principles of that. And I could see improvement in their lives and everything. So, but it helped me to get away and do something a little bit different. And so, to have a balanced life, you know, you don't do something 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You find a balance in your life. And that's how we sustain our health, is to find that balance in our life. And one of the best balances I know is in the silence. And you talk to any person who teaches metaphysics or teaches development and everything like this, there's one ingredient they all understand, and that's that you develop in the silence. And what a wonderful place to be. There are times in my life that I didn't think I would really like to be in the silence. But once I found myself in the silence, it's a real nice place to be. And I feel at ease with that. And so if you feel at ease, you don't have dis-ease, do you? To be at ease is to have ease in your life. And that's one of the things that we want to do with dis-ease, is to change the dis to ease. You become more aware of yourself. And there's so much that you can do. You know, one of the things that when I started developing and everything, the presence within me says, well, you know, you're going to have to talk to people more. I don't like to talk to people. I didn't talk to people. I just stayed away from them. You know, I still have that tendency at times to do that, but I developed a way to do that, and I got more comfortable with the words that I said. I did not. At first, I would try to copy other people's words, and that didn't work at all. And then I found some words of my own that made sense to me, and people were puzzled with that. So I just kept on talking those words, and eventually they understood those words, and they had more ease in their life. You see, you have an energy within you that is so powerful that the energy that I'm speaking of is of the all-knowing within us. And that is alive and breath at each of our breaths each day. That presence is there. And you wonder, why did I go through all these mistakes that I make? Why do I go through these hard times and everything like this? Well, you said you go through them, didn't you? Well, going through them is the ability to conquer disease in your life. And every time you go through something, you learn something about yourself. And you have the ability to think, talk, and act in accordance to what you understand to be. I found that sometimes trying to copy other people and being what they say and doing everything, it didn't really work out too good for me. And so I started doing things that I understood and started contributing to in my life, and I start feeling much more better and more at ease with myself. And when people say, well, you ought to do this, and you ought to do that, you know, and I figured out a long time ago, they're not talking to me, they're talking to themselves. When you talk to someone or talk about someone, you're talking to you and you're talking about you. And so actually what I'm doing today is I'm talking to myself, to each one of you. And that puts a lot of pressure on you in a way, you know, that is do you understand what you're talking about? And you know, understanding sometimes is not clear. And when you keep on doing the same thing and you get the same results, we know what that definition is. We don't want to mention that at all. So start doing something a little bit different. Each one of you have a purpose in this life. And understanding what that purpose is takes a lifetime to do that. I've been studying metaphysics since 1970, and my guidance within me tells me, you know, you still got more things to unfold. You got more things to change in your life. And then I said, yeah, well, I'm doing it every day, aren't I? Every time I think, and every time I talk, and every time I act, I am presenting a creation in my life. And so one of those creations is to be healthy. And what is your understanding of healthy? I can't tell you what that is. But you do know that. You know what that definition of health is. And every time you walk into a place, it tells you if it is healthy there. There's a part of your body that is very beneficial for you, and that's the stomach area. And they call that wisdom. And every time you go into some place, that part of the body is telling you if it's healthy for you or not. And then, which is, oh, well, I want to be here. And then you start conning yourself to stay. And so, you know, everything that you hear, every cell in your body absorbs that. And so that's when I started being aware of the words that I say. When people first come to the chapel, they see me coming and they stop talking. Because I nitpick them. I said, now look what you just said and everything. Is that what you want to have in your life? And eventually they change their vocabulary. And you know, humor is very important to health. A lot of humor that we have is not very pleasant. A lot of the comics in this world make fun of one another and everything, and everybody laughs at it and everything. And so what I found is that find another way of expressing humor. And each one of you have a different way of doing things. And so know that there's a different way of doing things and everything. And there are also, though, there are some things in your life that are really pleasant and constructive and healthy. And maybe it's a good time to recognize that and give yourself credit. What I tell people to do when they start feeling heavy with themselves is to put that whip down and pick up that feather. And then you're not going to be so hard on yourself. Human beings are very hard on themselves. When I got into this, there were some certain things in my body that wasn't working too well. And I was starting doing the healing classes and everything like this, and I found a presence in me that would heal me. And just in July, I went to Canada to do some classes and everything like this, and the chair that I was sitting in broke, and I fell down, and I hurt my inside of my left knee. And so I know the body representations, and so that's my female aspect. And so I started saying my female aspect. I am flexible with my female aspect. Within a day, my knee was all cleared up. You know? And so the energy that you put with that, you know, in the body, every part of the body has a different aspect within you. I did an anthropology class at the university one year, and this person had something going on with their leg, and I told her the symbology of that, and she didn't say anything, but her face got red. So I figured I hit the nail on the head. So, but your body, learn what the body represents to you, and then you can start healing yourself right away. Because there could very well be that there's something that you are not applying in your life that is ill. And to acknowledge that you are doing things that are ill is not a shameful thing. It's a constructive and positive thing to do, to know that. And so, I want to close out with saying is that the presence of this healing that I'm speaking of that is in everyone is alive and active each day of your life. And know that what you think is also the seed of that health. And when you are not thinking constructively toward yourself, you are creating that in your life. And so let's take some silence in your time every day, and if there's something that is not going too well in your life, figure out what it is. And you ask the understanding within you to give you that information. And usually what happens is something will come up that you don't understand at all. But keep on thinking about that feeling, and eventually you'll get words to go with it, and you get actions to go with it. And so, there's opportunities in our life to be a healthy being, and to develop and to understand yourself. It takes a healthy being. Because if you're not well, you don't have the energy and the vitality to go to different classes or different developments to do that. And so you deserve, your desire is health. And you know what the definition of desire is? Is a worthy destination. And as you become worthy, you will understand your destination, that you are worthy of that. So I want to leave these words with you today, that you are the intelligence of healing, and with each breath you can ignite that with the thought that you have. Bless you.
Thank you.
As we become quiet, let us concentrate on our breath. As this breath goes in through the nostrils and into your being, feel the relaxation that's being ignited. Just relax, relax. As this relaxation moves gently in and around and through you, it turns into something very beautiful called love. This love conquers all disease and blockage and injury in your life, and you recognize this love being alive and active with each breath. As you exhale, you release toxins and negative attitudes towards yourself and all people concerned. As you are releasing these toxins and attitudes, they are being dispersed into the I am. Relax, recognize, and release. This is the healing breath that's moving ever so gently in and around and through you. And as this healing breath moves gently in and around and through you, it starts settling in the feet area, the understanding part of our being. And with each breath, you understand you. As you understand you, you understand the world that you move in. Just relax, recognize, and release. And as this healing breath starts moving towards your ankles and up your legs, feeling all tension, frustration, and nervousness leave, just relax, recognize, and release. All the agitations and irritations that you've acquired throughout the day are dissolving. Just relax, recognize, and release. And as this healing breath moves ever so gently to the hips, relax the hips. Know that you're free to move forward in life with vitality, with vitality. And as this healing breath moves ever so gently to the base of your spine and the small of your back, you notice that it's becoming stronger. And this is where your strength lies. Confidence, security, and firmness is strength. And as it moves up the spine, touching each vertebrae, each nerve, and each vessel, you feel light. You feel light. Giving up what doesn't belong to you so that you can take care of what does belong to you. And as this breath reaches the shoulders, the responsibility part of our being, know that you are doing your responsibilities with freedom and ease. You also allow all other people to let them do their responsibilities with that same freedom and ease. And as this healing breath moves down very gently down your arms and reaching towards your hands, feel that healing breath between your hands. This is your healing breath, your healing breath. And as this healing breath is between your hands, place it very gently in the lower abdomen. Life is here. You are full of life. Life is full of you. Life is happiness, health, and wealth. You eliminate all that hinders you from life. Order is being ignited with each breath. Order adjusts all faculties of mind to move harmoniously for life. Just relax, recognize, and release. As this healing breath moves to the stomach area, wisdom is now being ignited with each breath. You are wise in all that you think, say, and do. You are wise. You are wise. And as this wisdom moves to the heart area, the love center of our being, with each beat of the heart, you're sending love to all parts of your being, and you radiate this love. Wherever you go, see, sense, feel, and touch, this radiance is being ignited and multiplied within you. And as this radiance moves to the throat area, the power aspect of our being, you are the commander of your life. You are the authority and at ease. And as this breath moves to the base, the very top of the head, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, you are relaxing, recognizing, and releasing. And as you are in this relaxed healing mode, you notice the healing be igniting within you. Allow this healing to be igniting within you. Starts to expand to touch the ones next to you, the ones in front of you, the ones behind you, and we become one healing breath. We have one healing breath, and we direct this healing breath to the healing containers in this world and here, to all those who are moving in and out of this world, all the heads of state, that peace is the journey and destination. All the institutes of health, that all healing is being in accordance to the rules of the University Grace of our Creator. All those that are affected by the winds, the rains, the snows, the movements of the earth, that they are protected and healed. As you become aware of your presence here in your chair, knowing that this healing breath is always alive and active, not only for you, but also for those who are being ready to be healed. Knowing that the enlightenment of healing within each and every one is now sustained and maintained. And as your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you see, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. And as your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you see, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. When the mental and physical consciousness are fully aware, open your eyes.